Hi everyone, this is Anne-Marie 25 of the Lee Williams Show, and I'm coming to you today with something of a serious nature. Now recently, I have been using, try to put these on my hands. These are plastic gloves without tearing them. I have long nails, which tend to shred things. But anyway, lately I've been using Doo Doo Osun soap, which is a natural soap, and I have a video on it, and you can feel free to check that out where I describe the Doo Doo Osun soap. But I use it as a cleanser, and I use African Shea Butter as a moisturizer. And recently I've been noticing on my shea butter something that's very disturbing to me. And if I can ever get these gloves on, I'll show you. This, and I'm putting these on because I think this is contaminated. So this right here is a white patch that has, I don't know how long it's been there. I know I have been using this with this in this container for quite some time, not knowing. I had suspicions that it might be some type of mold or something, but I wasn't sure. Now, I purchased this item. I'm not even sure when I purchased it, because I know I purchased it and then sometime later I decided to use it. The smell, you know, I've used quite a bit, and the smell still smells nutty to me. So I didn't see anything wrong with it, but what made me really start to suspect there was a problem was, you know, I started to hear, you know, things about good shea butter and bad shea butter. So I started to do some research on my own, because that's what I do. I investigate things. So investigative journalist. So yeah, I decided to do my own investigation, and believe it or not, I had a hard time trying to really get definitive information on how to tell that shea butter is bad. But I'm going to give you some pointers that's going to let you know if you have any of these problems that I'm going to mention, then just do yourself a favor and just throw away your shea butter. I know that we spend a lot of money on shea butter, but really it's not worth our health. And yeah, I paid about $6.99 for this, and I'm pissed that I'm like not even halfway through it and I have to throw it away. But it's kind of like you live and you learn, and this is something new to me, something I'm not familiar with. So it's just like when you're learning to cook, you know, you look for certain things that'll indicate whether a food item is bad and needs to be thrown away. Well, this is something as well. So I talked to the one of the representatives at the company that made this product. It's called Raw Cosmetics, and they're based in Atlanta, where I live. And she stated, you know, if you have a white if you have yellow shea butter and you have a patch of white in it, she said it's basically bad and you need to throw it away. She said one thing you could do is you could scoop it out and just continue to use it, but really she recommended the best thing to do is to throw it away. Because I told her, I said, look, I want to get my money's worth. But, you know, I was telling her every time I used it, my face will become inflamed. And I do have very sensitive skin. But I noticed whenever I use this, my skin would become like inflamed, like a rash on my cheek area. I did some research. I also found out that if you have African Shea Butter, it's the shelf life is only good from 6 months up to a year. The average shelf life. Now, that's what the representative told me. So, and I took some notes because I was, I wanted to know. I was like, you know what? I've been on the internet and some things give you the impression that it could be bad, but I wanted to know from the source. I mean, she sells it. This is a very well-known distributor of this product, RA or Raw Cosmetics. So I decided, that would be a place to go. I did attempt to call the National Poison Control, which I got no help from calling there. And I also called the American Shea Butter Institute. Now, the American Shea Butter said discard it after 2 years. But, they're an institute, and this, I think we should always err on the side of caution. Okay. So if you want to go up to 2 years, that's on you. But these are things that these are things that should be automatic red flags of when to get rid of it. Number one, if you have yellow shea butter, it's yellow shea butter, and you see white, that's a sign of mold or decay, and that's a sign to throw it away. Number two, if you smell it and it smells like doesn't have the nutty smell that's typical, and if you don't know what the smell would smell like, if it smells rancid, if it smells bad, if it smells like old broccoli, those are indicators that your shea butter has gone bad. So that's another reason to get rid of it. If you have white shea butter, white shea butter will be harder to tell if it's white, if it's going moldy because it's all white. So the best thing to determine whether that is bad is really if it smells bad like old broccoli, or has a rancid smell like a vinegar smell or something like that. Now, how you want to store this is you want to keep this, you want to store it at room temperature. You always want to keep the lid on. You want to keep it kind of airtight. Try to avoid getting moisture into it, and that might be something that I did not do. I would moisturize my body right after a shower, and I would kind of leave the lid on kind of like this, just placed on there, but I wouldn't go through the motions of snapping it on tight. So that's something that I will definitely do now. You want to keep it out of direct sunlight to maintain optimal freshness, and that's some main things that you want to look for. Shea butter is kind of new to a lot of us, especially who are going on a healthy hair care journey. We're hearing so much about shea butter. We're running out and buying it, but we don't realize that there could be potential harm with shea butter. And I spoke to someone at the American Shea Butter Institute, and he told me that shea butter is kind of manufactured mostly in Ghana, right? So they're accustomed to things that we aren't. And he was saying that the shea butter that's been tested here has been found to have things like mercury, lead, E. coli, salmonella, yeast, mold, fecal matter, and it might not cause them to get sick in Ghana because they're exposed to the elements, but over here we may not be used to it. And he was saying that if you suspect that you have contaminated shea butter, you can send it to them, and they will do a complimentary testing of it. And he said they normally charge $600, but they will test it for you complimentary. He said I told him, I said $600. I mean, I paid $6 for the jar, and I just didn't see how it would equate. And he said it was better to pay $600 for a sample than spend $60,000 in medical bills. So I thought, I don't know if that's an exaggeration or not, but if you have like salmonella, yeast, mold, fecal matter, lead, or whatever in the shea butter, and you're exposing yourself to it, no telling, and you got sick, no telling what the hospital bill could be. So he had a point there. So if you I'll leave the information for the Shea Butter Institute, and in the info bar. So if you suspect that you have contaminated shea butter, you can send it to them. I'm going to also send a sample of it myself because I want to know what was in it. Because I don't know how long I had it, I definitely can't blame RA Cosmetics, and I'm definitely not doing that. But it has piqued my curiosity as to what may be in it, because I have heard stories, and while you know, it would be wrong for me to repeat it without proof and without, you know, being able to use the person's name who told me the information. It would not be fair. So I do want to test this to see, you know, what was in it. He told me to get like take a small amount and put it in a plastic container and just mail it to him, and I'll put that information in the info bar. So as a result, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're watching, but I have a lot of female viewers on my channel, I would suggest not getting the shea butter in larger portions, okay? If you're just an everyday user, you're not making any products from it, I would suggest getting smaller containers, which I'm going to do from now on, so that you can use this product. And what I'm going to do now that I purchased this, I'm going to start putting the date when I purchased it on the container, so I can know when I purchased it, and I can kind of judge and gauge when the 6 months is up and when the year is up, because I'm not going to keep it past a year. So but I'm going to use that checklist that I use to determine whether I should throw it away. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So as of April 2013, that's when it'll be time for me to go away, because as you can see, there's no expiration dates on here. So how will we know, right? And definitely 10, 15, 13. So I put, that's the 6 month mark, and that's the year mark. So I would suggest doing that as well. I'm not an authority. I'm just somebody who's just, you know, kind of person just using the product, and I want to keep myself safe, and I want to pass it on to my viewers, because I know there's a lot of ladies who watch my channel that are on healthy hair care journeys, and you know, this might be something that they need to know. So thank you for watching this edition of the Lee Williams Show, and you have a fabulous day.